Welcome to EHOWTO. On today's video, we're going to show you how to change, remove, clean, and reinstall your throttle body on Chevrolet and GMC 95 to 98 pickup trucks with the 5.7 liter Vortec, and 95 through 99 Tahoes and Suburbans and Yukons with the 5.7 liter Chevy or GM Vortec motor. What you want to do first, you'll want to pull up on the back Vortec cover of your air intake. It will remove it and swing it out of the way from the throttle body. And that will allow you to gain access to the throttle body here. And what we're going to do is clean the throttle body. The reason they need to be cleaned is over time they're going to develop carbon buildup around the outside of the throttle body, and what that does is that will it will give you a poor idle. Your idle will fluctuate up and down. It'll be a low idle. It'll have trouble staying running when you come to a stop, cold weather. And the reason for that, carbon buildup gets on the outside of the butterfly and the plenum, and it blocks the airflow through the throttle body when you're idling. So real simple to do. It'll help you improve gas mileage, help your car run better, a little bit better performance. It's something anybody can do in their driveway. So what we'll do now that we have the throttle body exposed, unplug the electrical connectors on both sides. Just a snap and a pull. Both connectors unplugged. Once that's done, you're going to remove the three 10mm bolts and nuts holding the throttle body on. And once you loosen the nuts, you should be able to unthread the entire bolt out of the assembly. So we'll take a 10mm here and we'll start removing it. Next, you want to remove this bracket here on the front of the throttle body. That holds your bracket for your accelerator cable. That's also a 10mm. Once those are removed, you're going to want to remove the two accelerator cables from your the butterfly assembly of your throttle body. And what you'll do is you'll open the throttle body slightly to give you play, and they'll pull out this cable will pull out the side here and remove off, and this cable right here you'll pull backwards towards the back of the engine bay and it will snap off. You'll see where it clicks off. You don't want to turn this adjustment screw. This will either open or close your throttle body more to allow more airflow through, or a higher or lower idle. Now that comes out. Be careful, there's a washer on the bottom that doesn't fall. That there. Set it to the side. The other one unthreads out, and I've already removed the back one. Once that's done, you'll lift up easily on the throttle body. Be careful not to drop the washer like I just did. There it is. As you can see, there's a gasket around the throttle body. If the gasket's torn, you need to replace it. Here's the back side of the throttle body. As you can see, it's very a lot of carbon buildup. When it idles, you can see it from here. When it idles, it's slightly open, and that allows just enough air to flow through for it to idle. But when you get carbon buildup around the edges here, it keeps it from idling correctly. So remove the throttle body, and next we'll clean it. To clean the throttle body, you'll need basic carbon throttle body cleaner. Valvoline's a good one, and a rag. And what you'll want to do, keep in mind the electrical connectors here. Try not to get them wet. Just avoid that area altogether. Shake it well. You'll want to spray generously on the inside of the throttle body plate, and you'll see it's already running off. You can get the majority of it off this way. What I do is I will spray the rag, and that allows me to wipe it to where I can get a little bit more off with each stroke. Spray a little bit on the rag here, and you want to wipe the back side of that throttle body. And as you can see, it's coming off pretty easily. It's pretty extremely gunked up there. And it's normal for it to be like this. It happens. High mileage car. Any vehicle that has over 100,000 miles and hasn't been cleaned is going to look like this. And this will significantly increase your idling, increase your performance, help with gas mileage, just overall something that's very good to do. A little bit more throttle cleaner. You want to keep wiping until you get the surface clean. It'll probably take a little bit. Another good idea, I don't have one now, but a toothbrush, just something to get a little bristle on there to help it loosen the carbon deposits. As you can see, we've cleaned the throttle body. No more gunk, carbon buildup. Backside's clean. When you open the throttle body, inside the doors, on the sides of the chamber are all clean where it covers up. Another thing that a lot of people forget is when you open it up, clean the side of the actual butterfly. And what that does, even though your walls are clean, if there's buildup on the side here, it'll still block that air passage. So you want to clean all sides of the end of the housing and the butterfly. So now that it's cleaned, we will put it back on the truck. Back to reinstalling the throttle body. What you want to do first is you want to take a little cleaner, clean the surface of the gasket that runs around, make sure there's no buildup on it, anything that could cause it not to seal correctly. Also, a little bit of cleaner on a rag, and you want to wipe the inside rim where your plenum begins. As you can see, a lot of black buildup on there. So just want to get that nice and clean. That's less carbon in your valves, less carbon just overall in your engine. Okay, now that that's wiped, you're going to seat the throttle body back down on the opening. There's no groove that it sits in, so you want to make sure and line it up. You want to take the existing bolts and thread them back down onto their openings. Thread it down a good probably 3/4 of an inch to an inch, and then once it's threaded on tight, then you can take the nut and tighten the nut down back onto it, and that'll hold it down. So put this one on over here. Oh, one thing I forgot, do not forget to put your washers back on. Just a little safety feature that will help keep your nut tight so it does not loosen back up. You do not want your throttle body loosening. It'll let unregistered air into your system, which will completely throw off your air-fuel ratio and make your car run horrible. So we will put all 3 bolts and nuts back onto the throttle body and tighten them down. You can stop. And the last one, tighten down. Now you want to snug them down. You don't want to force it. Just get them snug to where it makes a good seal between the throttle body and the intake manifold. All right, now that those are tightened, you'll want to take your bolt and reinstall the bracket for your accelerator cable on the front of the throttle body here. It'll tighten back in there. It's also a 10mm. Everything on the throttle body is a 10mm. Once that's snug, okay, now take your electrical connectors, re-clip them back into place. Very simple, you can't screw it up. They only fit in the ones that they're supposed to go in. Okay, now you come over this side. You're gonna re-hook up your speedometer cable. Now the first cable you're gonna want to hook up is this one here, and the peg right here actually clips into this opening here. So you'll want to open your throttle body a little bit to give it some play so you have room. Clip it on there, and it will, if you push, it will snap in. And that's all there is to it. Okay? Now, your second cable that you'll hook up is your speedometer cable, or your gas pedal. Now, you'll feed this underneath the rail, out the back side, and what you'll want to do, pull it up tight here. You'll want to slide it directly into the top here. Yeah, it can be a little bit of a pain. It's that way so that it doesn't accidentally come out. So pull it flat and push it in. Alright, your speedometer cable's hooked up. Your both cables hooked up to the throttle body. Now it can open and close properly. You want to reinstall it back. You're going to push the tabs right on. And they will snap into place. And then the tube will go directly over top of the throttle body like so. Now, throttle body reinstalled. Now what you want to do is come back over here. Take your vacuum hose that goes from the breather on your valve cover, and then install it onto the back of your intake tube. And that is how to change, remove, and reinstall the throttle body on your 88 to 98, I'm sorry, 95 to 98 Chevy 5.7 liter Vortec engines.